Horses kinda snuffy, cold chill up your spine. You'll get your ass moving, son, we're burning daylight.
Howdy there, I'm Matt McKinley and we're burning daylight.
In the saddle till the job's done right.
Welcome to Burning Daylight, the only podcast for the working cowboy. Well, howdy there, daylight burners. We're live July 14th. Best day ever. You can't talk me out of it. That's what I'm gonna say. It's the best day ever. Why not?
Yeah, sure. We'll go with that.
Yeah, I mean, might as well be. If there's ever a day to be the best day ever, might as well be today. And if it's not, well, fuck it. We'll always wish it would have been. We're here live bull session. We got Richard DeAtley. He's you're out of California. What part's about? You don't got to be real specific if you don't want to, but I know you're somewhere up in Northern California.
Yeah, I'm outside of Redding, just
Okay.
out quite a ways, but
That's
it's probably an hour to Oregon and hour and a half to Nevada to Reno.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah. So you're kind of up in that Orovada area. How far is it from Gerlach to where you're at?
Oh, I don't know.
That might be a ways. Washoe County's a big goddamn place, you know. Like Washoe County's got Reno and then a bunch of other shit where nobody lives. Like there's, it's one of the weird things about Nevada is you got like these little pockets where people live and then nothing for hundreds of miles. There's just nothing. But yeah, so you got Reno, which is one of the biggest growing cities in the country. It's still not, as far as cities goes, it's not real big. It's I don't know, a couple 100,000 right now. And then but then the rest of Washoe County goes all the way to the California line, which ain't very far, but then it goes east to basically Lovelock and then north to the Oregon line. And then so I mean it's a big damn county.
Yeah, I was over Fallon the other day, and they've got enough cops there that they could have the whole LAPD working out of Fallon.
That's no joke, dude. But there's also that Naval Air Base, and those Navy boys get a little rambunctious from what I can tell. I only lived in Fallon for about a month, but it's funny. Like when downtown Fallon, it's like a really quaint, like Western looking town. It's got like the old West type buildings still, and then like the further you get away from the center of Fallon, the more and more it just looks like Alabama. It's just like there's some places there where like you have a square of, you know, say they're on 10 acres or whatever, or let's call it, you know, say 25 acres. You know, you got 5 one way, 5 the other, and you got 25 acres altogether, and it's nice and square. It's all you know, surveyed and everything. And then it's just like they took a trailer on one of those big Chinook helicopters and just like hovered over there and dropped it. And then they took that Chinook back and got a bunch of Connex containers and they just dropped them at random spots over there. Like they don't face the sun. Like there's no rhyme or reason as to why everything's set up there. They're just like, yep. It's kind of like when people settled in Kansas. Like there's no rhyme or reason to live in Kansas, but people are just like, I ain't going any farther. But back in Kansas, they set shit up so, you know, like, you know, you see your front door faces to the east, so you see the rising sun. Not in Fallon, like I said, they just like got it there and they're just like, this is good enough. I'm not sure where the sun comes up at, but this trailer ain't moving anymore. We're building here.
That's what I love about going through that. Like when you're driving through the desert out there, You're just driving along and you look, and all there is there's just like a single wide with like in like the corner of a pivot with like a little horse pin and like 2 tractors, and that's all they have. Like
Oh
out
man,
here,
and they all got an abundance of Connex containers. Like,
oh yeah,
yeah, and I looked at those other day. I was like wanting to kind of build something. They're pretty pricey, but now, but I they must have been dirt cheap back in the day because man, everybody has a Connex container, and it doesn't line up anywhere. Like there's like if you look, like I said, like a 25-acre plot where somebody just set up shop there outside of Fallon, Nevada. And if you're looking at it from an aerial view, and you can see like clearly where the property the property lines are staked out, and you're just like,
yeah.
oh, what? Why? Like, why did you set it up this way? I'm not even talking bad. I'm just like, explain to me why you did it this way. And I bet you there's not an explanation. They're just like, well, we towed this single wide out here with a 1982 Dodge Dually, and it died right here. And so we unhooked it and pulled the pulled the pickup out with the tractor, and here we are.
Yeah, it was mud when we pulled her in here, so we just had to park her there.
And
Never got around to moving it.
if we would have pulled her any farther, we would have been stuck for sure. Wouldn't have got out till spring. So
Oh,
it's yeah, it's wild. Nevada, like most people from rural Nevada, would fit in really well in the deep South. Like they're kind of the same type of people, but with less of us out here. They're just there's a lot more room in between hillbillies out here,
yeah.
and that I think hillbillies need some room. When hillbillies get too close together, they get to squabbling and shit goes down. They storm the Capitol and shit.
Yeah.
How's the climate up in your part of the world? How are you're kind of you're in the devil's hotbed there in California, but you're in like the good part of California. So how is things over there?
Yeah, our weather gets pretty fucked. Like in the wintertime we get down to 20, and like last year there for a month it was over 100 degrees for a month straight, and one day it was 118 degrees.
Oh, good God.
Yeah, it just don't let up.
Ugh. Like 118, like that's like God's mad at you at that point. Like God hates you. Like yeah, like you're on the same level as Haiti at that point.
Yeah, he hated this country too because he just covered it in rocks.
Ugh. Is there anything left to burn over there? It seems like they should be running out of shit to burn every summer.
Well, they were trying today. They're just outside of town. I seen they had a smoke going, but they got the 747 on it, and I think they got it rounded up.
Oh, okay. I know they were really trying hard to save those sequoias, and I'm pretty sympathetic to that. It's pretty cool to see 1,000-year-old, whatever, however old it is. That's pretty damn cool. But at some point, that tree's got to die, and I don't know. Like there's I don't know what you do with California anymore. Like I know why you guys want to stay over there because I mean honestly, like that's the best cow country on earth. It's the most beautiful place on earth is the state of California. But boy, you're fucked at the same time.
Yeah, people don't just don't understand. Like if we could have like an average rain year, and if we weren't like fucked by the government, the shit California could do. Like they already say we're like the fifth largest economy in the world or some shit like that. If
Something
they
like that, yeah.
deregulated it and if we had like an average rainfall year, there would be nothing to stop it. Like I don't think there's an economy around that's close to it, even though it just sucks dick.
Well, there was a reason why like they ignored the rest of the Louisiana purchase for the most part, and when like they wanted Texas and they wanted California. The rest of it, they're just like, that's it's like style points at that point. Like, but there's a reason they wanted California. Like that's fuck, it's a cool state, but what just shitty people running it.
Oh yeah.
Like
I
I feel like especially you folks in like northern California or eastern California, outside of the big cities, you guys have felt like the rest of the western United States has, like we've been feeling it for the last 10 years or so, with a bunch of Californians moving out and ruining our idiots moving in and ruining the state.
Yeah, they move up every day and they're always building houses.
Oh fuck, man, it's wild. It's wild. So you grew up there?
Yeah, I grew up right here.
Okay. How old are you?
I'm 19.
19. All right, you're a young buck still.
Oh yeah.
Uh, how was? I'm assuming you went to public school out there.
Yeah, I was at public school.
How was that? Was it super woke even in your part of the state, or?
Not really. I used to be in art class and the teacher kind of had like a dyke haircut and I'd sit there and I'd be like, God hates gays. And I never got kicked out of class really, but she sure didn't like me and my grades reflected she didn't like me, but
um, did you fuck her? Because that would probably be about right. She hates all you hillbillies, but she hates you enough that she wants that hate fuck. I think that's the biggest problem with most of these, like these purple haired weirdos, is they need a good dick down, but nobody wants that. Like you look at them, you're just like mm. Like a lot of dudes will deal with a fat chick, but a fat chick with that type of attitude, not a prayer. You froze. Are you there? He froze up. I think he froze up. Anyhow, California, young kid from California. That's that's something else. We'll be right back here with Burning Daylight. I'm gonna make sure he's all right. I think we're back. You there, amigo? Maybe not. And we're back.
Sorry, my phone overheated.
Oh, it's all right, man. No worries. It's like I said, this is a new platform, anyways, and yeah, that's the problem with interviewing cowboys is they're typically not in good cell phone service or good internet service. So it's it is what it is. Don't worry about it, man.
Yeah, I'm sitting in front of this $1 million mansion waiting on the irrigation to be done.
There you go. What kind of outfit you work for up there? You don't have to mention, real specifics, but like what's kind of what are you doing up in that part of the world?
Oh, it's just cow, calf, and yearlings too.
Oh, okay. Uh, you got any grass this year? I'm assuming you guys usually have some pretty good grass.
Oh, for what little rain we got, the grass really, it tried its all to save us, And last year they had my dad's permit cut to half, and this year I think they let him run like 75% to where we'll get through this year. Last year was really bad.
Yeah, that how much rain did you get this winter? Like, because I know kind of towards where we're at, not much. I mean, the snowpack's gone. There's like little bitty pockets way up top, but I mean, the pack is for the most part's gone.
Yeah, I think we got about 25 inches of rain, plus or minus a little bit. We normally get about 40, so.
Oh, okay, so that's a pretty big decrease.
Yeah.
And that's still a lot of rain, but like that, yeah. When you're used to 40, that's I mean that's almost 50% drop off. So
Yeah.
that's yeah, huh? But I don't know. I've never been in that part of. I mean, I guess I drove up. We went from Reno over to San Francisco, and then from San Fran up through wine country, and then back down to Reno. So I've been a little bit, just driving through that kind of country. But I've always heard like from a lot of different people, like that's the best like cow country in the world. Like I mean, just belly deep grass, with not a lot of rain.
Oh yeah, in the springtime it's great, but everybody here we ship almost everything north. As soon as we just ship everything out. That hardly anybody keeps stuff down here in the summertime because it's so hot and the flies get bad.
Yeah, yeah, because you guys are down kind of in like a bowl. Uh, like that's another part about California. Like especially northern part, it's like either real high mountain or like in a valley where it just gets like deathly hot during the summer.
Yeah, we're right at the start of the foothills. My dad's place is over. It's like just a bunch of canyons, canyons and ridges.
Mm. How far are you from the coast?
I'm gonna say hour and a half, 2 hours. I don't know. I haven't been to the coast since I was probably like 5 or 6.
Oh no shit. It's
Yeah,
about how I was growing up for the mountains. Like I grew up out on the eastern plains, and uh, every now and then we'd make a trip to the mountains. But yeah, that was a whole different part of Colorado.
yeah. We try and stay pretty busy.
Yeah, I imagine so. How long do your family been in that part of the world?
Oh, uh, actually, my fourth grade uncle is that John Bidwell that started Chico. So we've been
No
out here for
shit.
quite a while. Yeah,
Huh.
and then
Wow.
my grandpa on my dad's side, he moved out here during the Dust Bowl from Nebraska.
Oh no shit.
Yeah, they camped out over by or the Dead Horse Mountain over towards Weed and Mount Shasta and that, and they had
Yeah.
like they had a 2-ton truck and they were in a old burn and they just cut a truckload of fence stakes. They'd camp out there. and haul them to towns. How they got through.
Huh. That's it's funny that that whole like Okie migration. The more you look into it, especially like the Dust Bowl part, most of the Dust Bowlers stayed put. Like I think like three of them never moved. Um, but it was all like southeast Oklahoma, and then like you get, I guess you get some up in Nebraska and that. But it was a lot of like southeastern Okies where they were sharecropping, and then their land just wasn't producing, and so they got kicked off. And yeah, like there was patrols set up, like especially in Southern California, coming across like Death Valley and whatnot.
Yeah.
When you hit the state line there was like armed patrols that was just turning Okies away. Like, what's your business in California? It was almost like Texas back in the day, except with U.S. citizens.
It was like I forget what movie it is, but they talk about you got to know somebody to get a job to get hired.
Yeah, it's
But
probably the Grapes of Wrath. Like Steinbeck wrote. Steinbeck, was one of the like great authors of the 20th century, and most of his stuff dealt with like the California side of the Dust Bowl, where you had all these migrant camps. And I don't. I was saying this here a while back. Like I think we're already in a depression. Like the numbers might not show it, but you look at how many homeless there are in across California, and then like these big liberal cities. I mean that's not much different from the Dust Bowl.
yeah, that's for sure.
And
But
yeah, it's weird, but it's I don't know. They're saying like next meeting the Fed could raise like a full percentage point on the interest rates, which is like they've never done that big of an increase before at one time. So yeah, like the unemployment rate right now is really low. Yeah, you can expect that to climb up if they start the more they start raising interest rates. Oof.
yeah,
And then I wonder, like I wonder if you're going to start seeing people on the borders of like Florida and Texas and Idaho and shit, like turning people away.
it might be.
I don't know. It's weird. Like I think if you got money, you're probably all right. But like if you're just like roaming through it, like eventually, like I don't know. I don't know. It's I keep hearing horror stories about like how bad San Francisco and LA are, and I just like I wonder how they recover from that.
I don't know. There's a bunch of tweakers in Redding, but like my little community outside of Redding, we run them suckers off.
Yeah,
Like it was just kind of like unwritten code. Like I remember kids at like firecrackers and shit. There's no homeless in our community, but
yeah,
Redding, you get down under the down by the Sacramento River. Oh, there's just disgusting.
huh? It's
That
crazy. I and the crazy thing about like now compared to the 30s, like the 30s, uh, people were looking for work. When they got turned away at the California border, but now like there's a bunch of people in those big cities, and they're not even trying to get a job. They're just like camping out, doing drugs. Like,
yeah,
oh, it's crazy.
and it really sucks that like half of the population wants to live off of the other half.
I know it's
Like
and like the people that are kind of in charge of the other half that wants to work, uh they're fleecing us dry too at the same time. And so you're just like, fuck, who do you even trust anymore? Like who do you look to? Like where do we go from here?
yep. Or you could just take the rancher outlook and just bury your head in the sand.
Oh man, there's a lot of that too. That's gonna catch up with them too. It's funny. I didn't get a whole lot of pushback about the ranchers working with the the labor unions, but honestly, like that's one thing where I've never understood why the Republicans didn't try to, or just the conservative folks in general didn't ever try to reach a hand out to the labor unions, because that's such a huge political force. Like when you got like all the like that like the heart of the Midwest, like, or all the like the industrial shit happens, like they're all guys like us, except they don't ride a horse. They're but they work like hard shitty jobs, and they vote Democrat because that's who the union supports. And the Republicans have never in my lifetime really made any sort of like try to reach out to the unions. And like I know they're the unions are very Marxist type organizations, but your average member is not that. Like your average member just wants a good paying job, not to get fucked over, and that's why they're in the union in the first place. And I don't know. And if one of those, the workers at one of those plants goes on strikes, like that's a lot of money out of those Packers pockets, just one day worth of shutdown. Like that's a big chunk out of, especially not expecting it. And like that could do more than anything. Like especially if like the ranchers, say it's NCBA or U.S. Cattlemen's or RCAF, whatever organization kind of teams up with one of those guys, and like part of their not only do they want more money and better benefits, but they also want that plant to bid cash on cattle. Like that's, and they're not coming back to work until that happens. Like that's a powerful force, but I don't know how you make that type of inroads. But I don't see anything being done either. Like that's a huge part of the rural population that's just not on your side because you haven't even tried.
Oh, their union, just completely ride them off.
I can't hear you.
How about now?
No, I mean it kind of. There we go. I got you now. Yeah, I don't know. It's one of those things where it's like teaming up with the communists in World War II to defeat the Nazis. It's like you don't like them, but you kind of need their help, and it's kind of same way with all these packing plant workers. Like, man, if you get them pissed off at their bosses, if they don't show up to work, like that, then those big executives have to come to the table, and that's like that's something else. But like how you get them to, like, how you reconcile that with them, I don't know. But like there should be somebody with more knowledge than I trying to do that. Yeah. I still can't hear you, amigo. Try that.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we got you now.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyhow, so 19. So that means you graduated in what, 2019?
2020, I was COVID.
2020?
Yep.
So you had the COVID graduation.
Yeah.
I can't hear you. All right. Don't move. That sounds all right.
Okay. Yeah, we did like a drive-through deal.
That's what they did over here too. That's kind of gay. How do you feel about that? I mean, I guess you don't know any different, but
I wanted to take like a tractor or something through there, but they made me take my pickup.
uh do you have a shitty pickup or do you have a nice pickup?
Oh, at the time I had like a 2000 F250 extended cab, so it was all right.
All right, yeah, like you almost want like just a real shit box going through there if you're an ag kid, just like
Yeah,
something that just like might die right when they when they hand you your diploma.
yeah.
Just delay the whole ceremony for for a couple hours while you're trying to jumpstart your piece of shit. That would be funny. I would thoroughly enjoy that. But yeah, they did a drive through deal over here at Yerington too. Huh. That's so you're I guess your last 9 weeks or whatever was all online, huh?
Yeah, and I didn't really do any of it. They said if you turned in 50% of the assignments, they'd graduate you. So we just did 50% of them. You didn't even have to get a 50% grade. You just had to turn in half of them.
That's the way my wife's deal was too. Like she was like you could do it was like the doctors first do no harm. So like if you were gonna lower their grade by grading one of their assignments, you just didn't grade it, and so they could only get better if they did the work. Like there's if they had a D minus when the lockdowns kicked in, they graduated, baby. It didn't matter.
Yeah, I didn't have a D minus, but I also didn't have internet to go to any of these classes, so it was kind of rough there for a while.
Yeah, yeah, I bet so. Like that. Yeah, that's also something that people never took into account when they locked the fucking world down.
Yeah, my dad didn't believe me when I said there's no school on Monday. They shut it down to COVID. He made me drive there on that Monday, and I was like, Dad, there's nobody here. So he drove in there and went to talk to him.
That's awesome. Your dad sounds pretty old school, huh?
Oh yeah, he's a hard ass.
That's funny. Yeah. Bullshit. They're not. That's
Yeah,
funny.
yeah, like he'd go down there and cuss out the ag teacher for not going to like all those FFA deals. They only went to like one or two. Be like, why aren't you taking these kids ever anywhere?
Jeez, that's funny. Uh so you guys I mean I guess California is a little bit different than the rest of like say Nevada or Oregon where there's quite a bit more private land in California. So you guys run a forest permit though, right?
Um, my dad's permit's actually through I guess it used to be through PG&E, but now it's through some. PG&E had to give away a bunch of land, so it's through some conservation district crap bullshit.
Oh, so that's probably even worse than going through the BLM.
Yeah, it's not great, but the gal goes out there and takes care of the water tanks, and that's about all she does.
Oh, huh. So it's the same thing as BLM, except for the instead of the feds owning it, it's the the power company or whoever. Now this conservation, but same type of deal, huh?
Yeah.
Are the like is your grazing fees about the same, or is it way higher?
Oh, I mean, it's not way higher. I believe the last time I knew it was like $15 a month or something. You
Okay.
know, well, I'm trying to remember what BLM was like 289 maybe. Is that?
I couldn't tell you. I've got no frame of reference there, but
I'd have to talk to my cousin. He's got a pretty good BLM permit, but I don't remember right at the moment.
huh. You got a bunch of hippies up your way, like communes and shit. Is that Humboldt County?
No, I'm in Shasta County.
Okay. Shasta County is just more like more ranch type stuff.
Yeah, it's kind of rednecks, and then if you get like too deep into it, there's all kinds of sketchy stuff.
That's
The
what I
people,
hear about like Humboldt, where it's just like it's not so much that it's like like a huge hippie population up there. It's just like there's a commune here and there where like they're just like leave me the fuck alone, and like nobody goes out there.
oh yeah, there's roads you definitely don't drive out here. Like,
No shit.
oh yeah, like the next to the ranch, up past where there's this place called Oak Run. There's roads you do not drive down there unless you got to know somebody, you know.
Huh.
Oh,
And I'm guessing you take a firearm down those roads if you do go down those roads.
oh yeah, yeah, like
So you were telling me something about a like a cartel guy that you found one time.
yeah. So this was last year. I was working. I guess it was between Whitmore and Oak Run. They're kind of like real hillbilly Arkansas ass people, you know. And we
Mm-hmm.
were processing a couple of truckloads of cows to ship to Burns. And
Yeah.
next thing you know, this this guy says, "Hey, there's smoke down there. I think that's in that one pasture." So we go. So he goes down there. He comes back. He says, "The house is on fire. The Mexican's house is on fire." So we all jump in the buggy and run up and call the fire department. We get there, and I jump on the hose and I'm trying to put this fire out. Well, it burnt the pump house and it burnt that whole house. And I guess I didn't even hardly see it, but there was a big puddle of blood in the front yard. And
Oh shit.
and yeah, and then so we're putting this fire out, and then the fire department shows up, and they finally, I think they just let that sucker burn. But next, like the fire department, there's been like 30 trucks in the driveway, and the irrigator shows up to his house, like he's just putting along. I guarantee he just came back for lunch, and his house was burned down.
No shit.
And they had investigators there for like 2 or 3 days, and the final verdict was the investigators called it suicide, but they said the guy slit his wrists. The irrigator's son, which was like 22 or 23 maybe, he
Uh huh.
slit his wrist and ran inside and burnt the house down, is what they said.
That's dedication.
Yeah, now
Like
I'm sorry, but I don't believe that.
that sounds like a Hillary Clinton job, you know, like where they shoot themselves in the head 6 times and then somehow still manage to cut their own throat.
Yeah, I mean, they're, yeah, and I don't think I've never cut myself, so I wouldn't know. But like the puddle of blood, after I remember seeing it now, and it was a large puddle of blood, to where
Yeah.
somebody held him there and cut something, whether they cut his throat or what, right there, and drug him inside and burnt the place down. I don't know, but yeah, they got that sucker.
Huh. And I'm guessing that was a weed farm.
I don't know what it was. He I think that kid was doing something sketchy, because like you could, if I ever drove by on my way home from town or whatever, you could, any time of the day he'd be out there he'd be leaving it who knows what time in the day, you know. He was
Huh.
never he was never awake during the day, you know. You'd only ever see him in the evenings and stuff.
Huh. So he was night shift on whatever he was doing.
Oh yeah. And one
Huh.
day we weren't getting enough water in our ditch, so we walked down the ditch, and lo and behold, they got one of those. It looked like what you'd put down a house well, running off an extension cord and a generator running up into the bushes.
Those Mexicans are very industrious, you know.
Yeah,
They can figure out how to make shit work out in the middle of nowhere.
they sure can. We decided not to call the cops on that, because we spent too much time off by ourselves to be running around with a bunch of cartel and stuff like that.
Yeah, I don't blame you. That's one thing where like you want to be like macho man. He's like I'm gonna defend my property. But like when the cartel puts a hit out on you, like that's not something you can just like get away from. Like they're gonna they'll find you.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of the same way with those guys down on the border in like Texas and Arizona. And it's been that way forever. Like if you read, which if anybody needs a good book to read, I can't recommend it enough. I know I mentioned it before, but The Time It Never Rained by Elmer Kelton, and it talks about the drought in the 50s, but it also talks a lot about like the migrant Mexicans that just come up, and you're so poor, like, and this guy's willing to work for like a chicken or something. So you're like, fuck it, whatever. And then he turns out to be a good worker, so you're just like, all right, I'll pay you a chicken a day or whatever. And you're like, is it right? Well, not really, but like, what do you expect the guy to do?
Yeah.
and and so then when La Migra comes around, you got to hide him, because if they find him, not only does that guy get deported, but you get in trouble too. And so everybody becomes a little bit of a fugitive at that point. And I don't know, it's the same way in California. I know, like, especially with those guys with like the big row crops, where you got to have a big force of people picking that shit, and it's like it's very time sensitive. You're like, whatever it is, peaches are ripe right now. Like let's get after it.
Today's
And
the day.
yeah, and like if we delay, for every day that we delay, we leave so many $1,000s. So like, get out there now. I don't care what your immigration status is. It's like that's the last thing on your mind. You're just like, no, you get whatever it is you're growing, like get that in the bag right now. Like that's we need you out in the field. And yeah, so like there's tons of people that hire the Mexican laborers because, well, they're better workers, and they work for cheap, like real cheap.
That's like my dad's uncle. They back in the 70s, they had a Mexican working for him, and whenever he had time off or whatever, he'd go get drunk at the bar and get in a fight. I guess he had his belt buckle. He sharpened it and he'd cut guys.
Oh no
He told
shit.
he told my dad's uncle. He says, if I get in a fight and they deport me or whatever, he says, if I'm not back in a week, hire somebody else.
Yeah, and like, so like when like the Republicans talk about like securing the border, like that's always been a pipe dream. It's always been a pipe dream to get that secured, because somebody that wants to get back over, they're gonna get here. And the people that are like determined enough to do that, like, there ain't stopping them. Like, you might as well recruit them for like special forces or something, because like those are some tough motherfuckers.
Yeah, I know a guy. He went. He was illegal, I guess, and he went to back to old Mexico to bury his sister. I want to say this was like 2008 ish. I guess I want to say it cost him $4,000 with the coyote to get back.
I believe it. And guess what? He still got back because it's that much better over here.
Oh yeah,
That's the crazy thing, is for all these lunatics that talk about how shitty America is. Like, go talk to somebody from Honduras or El Salvador or Haiti, like one of those Haitians that was camped under the bridge. Like, go talk to one of them and talk about how bad they wanted to get over to America. Like, yeah, and then talk about how bad this country is. Like, fuck off. Like, those guys are like, all right, so how many miles of desert do we got to go across?
yeah,
Let me start training now. Like, where we're going.
yeah. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. They're doing it.
Yeah, I mean, like, and then you look at the people that they pay to get over here. Like that one, what was in El Paso, like 43 of those poor bastards died. They were still willing to pay that guy to get over here.
Oh yeah.
They knew that was a possibility, and they still took it. And it's like, yeah, better than fucking Mexico right now.
Yep.
It's it's wild. I mean, like I know you've worked with a lot of those guys, and shit, there ain't a better worker either. Like,
No.
yeah, like and then you talk to them and like listen to like how it was back in the old country, and you're just like, shit, yeah, I would have crawled through a mile of shit to get here too. You know,
Yeah.
when they're making what they're making here, living off of it, and still sending money back to the folks back home, and the folks back home are living like kings now. You know, like that's it's something else. Like I do the same thing. I can't hold anything against them, but also it's like we got to do something down there. Like you can't just allow that shit to happen.
Yeah. The one thing I've noticed, like the first generation, I don't know what you want to call them, the first generation immigrants,
The
they are the
OGs,
hardest.
yeah,
They're the hardest working ones. But about the third generation or second, they just I I live. Well, my parents are split, and I live down uh just above Napa in a town called Ukiah, and that like second to third generation, they're just worthless. They just want to tear shit up and just.
yeah.
I'm sorry, but I
No, I agree. I agree. It's the second generation's usually pretty good. The first generation you can't beat them. Best worker you'll ever find. Second generation's usually pretty good because they also have to work. Third generation's usually pretty not well off, but compared to what their granddad had to come over, like they're doing really good, and they got a chip on their shoulder, and
that's exactly it. Yeah, they're
yeah.
just entitled and
Mm-hmm. Well, take a look at all these like big family corporations. Like Henry Ford revolutionized the automobile industry. Um, yeah, take anybody know what his ancestors are doing now? Like I think they're just giving all that all that money made off of just being fucking American. Like building Detroit up to one of the power centers of the world. That all gets wasted away to left wing, you know, pet causes by his ancestors because they've always been fabulously wealthy, and it's like, oh yeah, let me help the poor and downtrodden, and there's like give money to Obama or somewhere who just keeps the poor and downtrodden even more poor and downtrodden.
yeah. How'd you like that video I sent you the other day of Michelle Obama?
Oh, that was a good one. Let me see if I can pull that up. That Big Mike just rocking it. I did enjoy that. You know, there for all the speculation around the Obamas, like, they've been pretty silent. Like Barack had that one appearance where Biden, like he just kind of brushed off Biden. Uh, but outside of that, I haven't seen that clan around at all.
Yeah, they've gone quiet.
Yeah, well, they don't want to put their name behind old Uncle Joe. And I don't blame them. It's a tough one. That's
Yeah,
a tough
that's
one to get behind.
yeah.
Um, yeah, that's it looks like Newsom's looking to get in the race. What do you think about that? As a native Californian, what's your thoughts on Newsom?
We call them new scum here. We hate. I hate queers. I hate all that junk. I
Yeah,
and what? I guess I don't really hate them. I hate how they preach about it. I wish
yeah,
everybody would just leave each other the fuck alone.
right. Well, it's like back in the day when people got really pissed off at the Christians. It's like it's not so much that they hated them; they hated being preached to. Uh, yeah,
Yep.
it's like fuck off, man. Like you do your thing over there, and just keep it over there, and I'll do my thing over here. and I'll keep it over here, and we can wave across the fence, and that's all we have to do. That's all we have to do to not fight.
It's like that one aunt that's always trying to get you to go to the Mormon church. Oh, just we'll send the what do they call them? They go on a mission. We'll send the missionaries to
The
your house.
missionaries, yeah. Oh yeah, those. I see. I didn't have any Mormons growing up, but I can imagine. But I had a lot of Southern Baptists, and they were the exact same, except they only had. They were the only wife in the situation. The Mormons, regardless of what the main church says, like they decriminalized polygamy in Utah here back in 2017. They did that for a reason. They got tired of chasing down all these polygamists. So there's fine, do your thing. Fuck. And the same thing with the Baptists. They had that big report coming out of the Southern Baptist Convention the other day. It turns out a bunch of their preachers liked the younger gals quite a bit, and they didn't want the public to know about that. It's yeah. And so
Yeah,
when you
heard of Bethel?
What's that?
Have you heard of the church Bethel?
Bethel, probably, but refresh my memory.
It's this. I want to say it's like Bethel's Church of the Superhuman bullshit. It's a cult, is what it is. It's right here in Redding, and I've never been to there, but people I know of that have been there, they say they drop I don't know whether it's sparkles or real gold dust from the ceiling and shit, and they get if you meet any
It's
young,
the Bethel Chapel.
That sounds right. Yeah.
All right. All right. Go ahead. I'm gonna look this up, and if I find it, I'll pull it up on screen.
If you meet any foreigner, whether they be Asian or extremely white, not tan or anything like that, you're like,
yeah.
Bethel, and they're like, yep, and they're like, yeah, we're from Sweden, and yeah, I'm from Japan, and there's a huge influx of, we call them Bethelites around here, but I want to say it was 2018 or 2019. They literally had a baby had died, I don't know what, 2 years old or something, or 9 months, something like that. For 8 days, they put it up in front of the church and prayed over it, trying to bring it back to life.
That sounds a lot like some of those Mormon types too. Is this the one?
It has to be. There's only one Bethel. They are just a bunch of weirdos. Yep, look at that hat.
Arts and creativity, communities and groups, counseling and coaching. I could coach somebody. Healing and freedom. I don't know what that means, but I could do it. This church sounds awesome. So does the pastor fuck all the ladies, or how's that work?
I believe so, because they bought up half of Redding.
No shit.
Yeah, they've bought up a serious portion of Redding, and anytime you go to a community event, they're there out in force. They got volunteers everywhere. They're just trying to woo the city into they'll probably try and rename it to Bethel.
All right, well, let's see about Bethel. Let's dive deep. The personal, regional, and global expansion of God's kingdom through His manifest presence. All right, so that's vague. Congregation rooted in the love of God, dedicated to the worldwide transformation through revival. The Lord has given us a mandate to be a resource center to impact cities and nations. We believe we're on the edge of the greatest revival of all time. Where does the polygamy come into play? 1950s, Bethel Church started their first gathering, Robert Doherty, in a private home. All right, so that'd be one we'll have to look up. Side quest there. Under Pastor Doherty's leadership, the church outgrew their home and moved to a new location on Magnolia Avenue. Bethel acquired and dedicated a new facility on Bashelli Lane to house the growing congregation in 1964. 66, Reverend Vic Trimer becomes the pastor of the Bethel Church. All right, so Vic Trimer and Robert Doherty. We got to look those up. M. Earl and Darlene Johnson become pastors in 1968. 1980s. Ray and Rebecca Larson were called to pastor the Bethel Church. 1988, the Bethel Church established the King's Kids Christian School out of a desire to disciple children in the way of the Lord. Ray Larson, senior pastor at that time, led the children during its first years. School later renamed Bethel Christian School. 1995, completed the construction of the College View campus facilities. Bill and Benny Johnson became the pastors in 96. All right, so we'll have to go back and see if there's anything see if there's any shenanigans going there. But so that's your hometown though. You there, Richard? All right, we'll be back in just a second. All right, we're back. Yeah, was there any sort of weird shit other than just like the normal, like weird super Christian church stuff?
Just that they tried to raise that baby from the dead, and that they just, I guess all they preach is like the good stuff God does. They don't preach how you get there or anything like that. They're a different type of people. They're weird.
I'm gonna pull there in a minute, but yeah, their world, like I guess that's probably the only ones, but you know they had that kind of Indian sex cult up in Oregon. Yeah, and he was from India and some sort of guru. Bethel Church. Yeah, but I guess like you guys are kind of a long ways away from anywhere, so that's why people go out there, huh?
Yeah, that people come to Redding, it's because of Bethel. Like I'm serious. People come from like Switzerland or stuff like that. They hear about it over the internet and they have to come.
Crazy. I'm guessing these folks have like a huge YouTube channel or something. They're on the TV somewhere. Let's see. We'll go to the news. Because this was like the type of group that the lefties would really hate. So, Benny Johnson of Bethel Church dies at 67. That's breaking news. Breaking news. That was 14 hours ago. Do you know that? Did you know this chick?
Not a clue.
Let's see. I'll pop it up on the screen. Yeah, Benny Johnson. Benny with one N and an I. Get out of the way. Well, enough of that. See what they have. Co-senior pastor of the Reading Church, Bethel Church, died Wednesday after a lengthy battle with cancer. She was 67 years old. Um, all right, so that was a pretty. I didn't have anything real bad to say about her. Anyhow, I don't see anything scandalous. They didn't get in a fight with the ATF, so that's good on them. They would have got burned alive. So they're like the Northern California Joel Osteen, huh?
I mean, they're weird, yeah.
But apparently, a lot of people go to that church, though.
Yeah, they pack them in there, and they have they have a school to teach you in there something, how to use God's gift or whatever, something or other.
Huh? Yeah. So you're not just
Ministry.
Bethel School of Ministry, huh? I wonder. And they're like a traditional Christian church.
I have no clue. I've never been. I stay away from them.
Probably a good idea. Bethel. What was the name of that?
School of Ministry, I want to say.
Bethel School of Ministry. There we go. We'll pop that up on the screen too. Why not? Why not? Apparently this lady was a big deal. This church has garnered controversy for its belief in faith healing and running a school for supernatural ministry. Sounds legit.
There we go.
Yeah. Benny Johnson. She's kind of hot for a 67-year-old. Not bad. She held together well. 11,000 members. 11,000. I'm guessing since they're a faith-based healing deal that she did not undergo chemo.
I hope not. That'd be hilarious.
March 2018, she was diagnosed with breast cancer. At the time, she shared that doctors had found which were caught early and removed. Began in March. I walked out of the doctor's office shop. During her surgical treatments, discovered that Johnson had a mutation in her BR2 gene, which placed her at risk of developing various cancers. So God hated her too, apparently. Huh.
Yeah, you could look up that baby they tried raising from the dead.
Yeah, I might do that. Yeah. What a weird story. Religion gets really weird. That's also why the woke stuff has got so weird lately. It's Bethel Church. Child death. All right. Here we go. All right. Addresses attempt to resurrect. Oh, they're in like a little outfit. All right, so after the sudden death of their daughter last week, one Bethel, her family has taken the unusual step of enlisting others at the Reading megachurch to attempt life. Andrew and Callie Heilingthal's 2-year-old daughter, Olive Elaine, died early Saturday morning after she stopped breathing. A post about Olive had more than 250,000 views within 6 hours. Tuesday. When was this? So this is 2019. Not that long. The family called 911 and medics attempted to revive the child at home. Reading Hospital, where she was declared dead. Huh. Could have saved the kid for they preyed on it. They didn't say. Was it an easily treatable disease? Do you know though anything about that?
I don't know. I just remember it was on the news. They were like having services every day trying to pray this kid back to life.
Huh. Well, I wonder. I mean, that's weird. Don't get me wrong. That's really weird. Like, if they had exhausted all avenues at that point, I don't know. It's kind of like when they talk about some of this January 6th stuff, where like Trump tried to intimidate a article, and like he tried to call them that he was calling, ignored it, and then called a lawyer. Like, this was Trump actually trying to intimidate this witness, or was it a random phone call? I don't know. Same way here. Like, did they just leave Flex, try to bring her back, or did they not treat her? I don't know.
Me neither. I just
Either way, fucking weird. I agree with you there.
yeah. There
Weird.
the people I know, there's really no middle ground. There's Bethelites, and then there's people that are real suspicious of Bethelites.
I could see that. I could see how that would be a thing. Yeah. I know. Looking at it again, it doesn't. Mm, it doesn't say though whether this kid could have been with modern medicine. That's the part there where, yeah. Either way, it's weird. Don't get me wrong, but say that like they caused it, that's a different story. Or if they're just like glomming onto it, this weird ritual to say that like they denied her health care, which I haven't found any evidence of yet. So anyhow, weird for sure.
Yeah, that's like the
Kind of like the Mormons. It's like, it's weird. I'm not gonna say wrong until I see a little more evidence.
Yeah.
Either way, probably something was fucked up going on there. Not gonna lie, that's weird, but like also I don't give the media any benefit of the doubt anymore. They have, yeah, they don't deserve that. So I take everything with the big racism anymore.
Yeah, when I feel like I'm being too friendly, I wake up a little bit early and turn the news on. Then then I get pissed off.
Yeah, the news will definitely get you pissed off. Yeah, particularly if you watch it. Yeah, the cable news is, yeah, they're awful. It's gross. But it's also so's the world. So I guess it's just pick your poison.
Okay, I got a theory. The NRA
Okay.
is a deep fake.
Fuck the NRA. NRA is they're they're grifters I've ever encountered in my life, because ever since I have been old enough to be a member of the NRA, I joined as soon as I could, and I have gotten nothing except fundraising emails about how they're going to take our gun rights away, and how this bill is going to do this, and it's going to be bad for the country, and they took our money, and those bills passed anyways. Fuck the NRA. They have not done a goddamn thing.
That's what I'm saying. They're like a government program to make it look like there's resistance against gun control.
Yeah,
When
controlled
really they just,
opposition.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah. So
that's
like, if you really want people that kind of deliver results, you go to the Second Amendment Foundation, or Firearms Policy Coalition, I think is what it's called. Gun Owners of America is pretty good too. Um, but yeah, NRA, yeah, it what a joke. What a joke.
yep.
So, all right, so you're 19. That means you can't buy any guns till you're 21 in California, right?
Uh, you can buy one if you have a hunting license. You can buy like a shotgun or a rifle.
Okay, but like it has to be like a hunting type rifle, like where it's bolt action, probably not magazine fed. Like California's weird.
I believe so, but I spent some time up in Montana, so I do my buying up there.
Yeah, it's probably a good call. Probably a good call. I know Nevada is not the best on gun rights, but they're pretty good. Um, Arizona, like if you Arizona's really good on gun rights. Kansas is a shitty state, but on gun rights they do it right. Constitutional carry, and they also have an amendment in the state constitution that gives you the right to hunt. So, um, yeah, Kansas is really good on gun laws like that. Montana's pretty good too, I think. Well, I guess just about every state besides New York is better than California.
Yeah, I mean, once you get the guns, though, like everybody talks, you can't run around with a loaded gun or whatever. I mean, don't get me wrong, I've been pulled over my share of times, and they don't search your vehicle like that shit, you know? I
Mm,
mean, they don't mess around with that. They they just write you your ticket and send you on your way as long as you don't look like a homeless drifting bum.
yeah. Well, that's the it was funny is Reagan is the one who brought all, or like first brought the gun control laws to California, and it was over the Black Panthers. Um, but yeah, like that, it's crazy how, like, from state to state how different it is. Like California, and it's a good experiment about how well that shit actually works, because even though California has like the stupidest and like the most restrictive laws on the book, you can still have guns. Like, there's, at the end of the day, if they wanted to take your guns, they're going to have to come get them. And that's not a fight most cops wanna have.
Yeah, I don't think they want to come to my house.
No, I think most cops believe you should have a right to own guns. But if they're just following orders, that's a shitty order to follow. It's not going to end well for you.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I don't know. It's one of those things where, like, the conservative side of people have always been like 100% pro law enforcement, and that's not quite so much the case anymore. Like, people still really, for the most part, respect the cops, but that trust has been weakened quite a little bit over the last couple of years, and I think that's a good thing.
Yeah. I,
Like, oh, go ahead.
I'm not a great big fan of the cops sometimes. They just, like the stupid 55 with the trailer rule in California. You know how many wrecks that causes every year?
Oh, I believe it. I believe it. Yeah, there's a bunch of stupid laws. That's the thing, is like, if these cops would stop enforcing stupid laws, they wouldn't exist. Like if they just wouldn't enforce them, those laws would go by the wayside and be like, oh, that was a stupid law. We're just gonna quietly repeal it. But they keep enforcing these stupid laws, and so it gives them power. And
Yeah, it's
not
like
not
how,
not not a huge fan of the cops.
I'm not. Yeah, I got pulled over in Fallon the other day. I'm not big on cops here lately either.
Yeah, like, I understand they're doing a job, and they're it's a dangerous profession. I understand that. It's the same way a cowboy for a living. It's a dangerous profession. You ride out in the morning knowing that you might die. Like, that's part of the job. It's
Yep.
also, so, like, when shit gets hairy, like, you should know how to handle yourself. Like, if a horse busts in two and the guy riding him can't make it work, well, he's not going to work on that crew very long. And that should be the same way with the cops. Like, all these fuckers in Uvalde, uh, that just watched for over an hour while kids got slaughtered. You guys are not allowed to be police officers ever again. Fuck off. Like,
Yeah,
I hate to say it, but, like, you're not allowed anymore. Like, you failed. You failed in the biggest possible way. So you're done. Fuck off.
that's bullshit. They should be facing time.
Yeah, I honestly, they should be facing criminal charges. And so, like, it just brings that whole back the blue thing. It's like, oh, I'll back the blue when they're doing what they're supposed to, but I ain't backing that shit. I ain't back a bit of that. And even, like, they, like, because they just released, like, the full camera footage of it the other day. And the police department there in Uvalde called him cowardly for releasing it. You're like, well, how about your cops that stood around for over an hour while literal children, got slaughtered? Uh, Who's cowardly? Who's more cowardly? The guy that leaked the video showing what actually happened, or the cops who did nothing? I'll side on the reporter side on that one every time.
Yeah,
10 times out of 10. You have a job. I understand it's a hard job, but if you can't do the hard job, you're not allowed to do that hard job anymore. And those guys and ladies, whoever was there and didn't go in, and even the people that finally did go in, what were you doing for an hour? Fuck off. You are not allowed to be cops anymore.
no.
You had one job and you failed. Fuck off. Go find another job if you don't get convicted of something.
Yeah, go.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Yeah. Yeah.
But I
That,
guess I was always told that like government employees and them are just kind of like second-rate intelligent citizens. Like real smart people go into business for themselves, you know. But that's just
well,
what I was told.
I think for the most part that's true. And I don't say that to like to be mean to anybody. I think that's true. And it plays out, look at who's in office right now. They're a bunch of fucking clowns. Like the people that actually know how an economy works and how shit's supposed to happen, they're not in office because they don't want to be.
Yeah, they're out.
The people. Oh, go ahead.
They're busy out there. They're busy out there doing it. They're running the economy.
Right. That's I mean, it's like you can bitch about Elon Musk all you want, and you know, conspiracy theories about if he's actually going to buy Twitter or whatever, but like that guy's actually making shit happen. Like they're talking about how we need electric vehicles, and that's the guy actually fucking building them. Um, and I don't know, like maybe listen to what that guy has to say because he's a big part of the economy.
Yeah, that guy's brilliant.
Yeah, and I don't trust him any farther than I can throw him, but I look at his track record and it's pretty good. So like, I don't know, maybe listen to the guy a little bit. At least you don't have to do everything he says, but like listen to it.
Yeah, throw him a bone every once in a while. Let him. Yeah.
Yeah, it's wild, but yeah, we just got a bunch of fucking clowns running it, and it's weird because like I'm sure you being the young buck you are, but like there's times where it's like, man, like shit's going to break down, and I most likely I'll be fine unless they bomb somebody from overseas bombs the armory over at Hawthorne. Outside of that, I'm probably all right, and and you're just like, man, can you fuckers in the cities figure your shit out because oh, you're really making it hard for us people out here. Like we really don't even have a dog in the fight. But it's like, can you figure it the fuck out?
Yeah.
Yeah, like just make sure something happens and like if it works, fine. If it doesn't work, I don't care. Just like leave us alone. Like what we do out here works pretty good.
Yeah, I got a serious question. If you're
Okay.
gonna like cheat somebody into office, why would you pick Joe instead of somebody that's like mentally stable or something? You know?
See, that's a very good question, but as a rebuttal on the other side, you had everybody that voted for Joe Biden that viewed Donald Trump the exact way that they view Joe Biden right now, except as Joe Biden doesn't have his wits, and most people know that they knew that Donald Trump had his wits, but they were very very concerned about him becoming an authoritarian type dictator. And I think there were some well founded concerns, but what I think they did, I think if Trump gets elected again, shit could go really haywire. Like I really don't I won't vote for Trump for a third time. Like I think that bridge has been burnt to a crisp. But yeah, the main reason people hate Donald Trump is because they view Donald Trump the way we view Joe Biden, and
Yeah.
I can't say they're completely wrong. I don't think they're right on it necessarily, but they're not completely wrong. Trump was a little bit of an unstable man, but I think it's pretty clear that he has all of his mental faculties about him, and Uncle Joe clearly doesn't.
No.
Yeah,
He's
that
just
guy.
trying to survive.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Hey, what do we say we'll take a break here for a minute, and then we'll come back and do something for the Patreon folks. Sound good to you?
Okay. Sounds good to me.
All right. Well, hey everybody, thanks for tuning in. Make sure you go check out the Patreon or the Spotify, whatever you call it, Spotify paid subscriber, whatever. Either way, if you subscribe to either one of those, you'll be able to hear the rest of this conversation. Patreon.com/burning daylight, or you can subscribe on Spotify. But thanks for tuning in, Richard. It's been fun. And hey, sign us off if you don't mind.
Move your ass. We're burning daylight.
Boom. Good work.
Your eyes up in the morning, beneath the stars so bright. Pull your hat down, make sure your cinch is tight. Horse is kinda snuffy, cold chill up your spine. We'll get your ass moving, son, we're burning daylight. Burning daylight. Burning daylight. In the saddle till the job's done right. Burning daylight. Well, life is just a gather, and you won't catch 'em all. But when you ride through the gate, make sure you sit up tall. I can see the horizon, it's looking pretty bright. Well, get your ass moving, son, we're burning daylight. Burning daylight. Burning daylight. In the saddle till the job's done right. Burning daylight. Burning